Hi guys, my name is Jasper. Welcome to NIIndonesia. Well, today we'll talk about the definition of the bird nest. And a lot of people was asking, what is the bird nest? And can I really consume that? Or where can I buy the bird nest? Well, basically, the edible bird nest is a bird nest itself. The difference is it's not all kind of a bird nest. It's more like it's a bird nest that made from the saliva of the swallow bird. So not all kind of swallow bird can do that, and it's just a specific swiftlet. So if you climb up a tree and you find this bird nest, and try not to eat it because there's definitely not that kind of bird nest. And in fact, this swiftlet does not make the nest on top of the tree because it doesn't really like the sunlight. So what happens is the swallow will make the bird nest inside a cave, and sometimes they will make it inside the ceiling of the warehouse. So what happens is if you build a warehouse just next to the habitat of these birds, and there will be more likely the chance that this bird will fly into your warehouse and it will start to build the bird nest on top of the ceiling of your property. Well, basically, there's a lot of types of bird nests around the world, and majority the grading itself was made by the Chinese community because it was mainly consumed by the Asian and the Chinese community. Apart from that, a lot of people started to get confused what's the difference between one bird nest to the other bird nest. Because there's so many types of breeding, like the AAA, 4A or 5A. For you who just started to get to know the bird nest, there are only two types of the bird nest in terms of the quality. One of them is the bird nest that comes from the warehouse, so we call that come from the bird nest farm or the swallow's farm. And the quality is actually good. That's the most popular, the most common that you see in the market. And another one is the bird nest that comes from the cave. The quality is slightly better because due to its nature and the birds are living in the cave. Slightly the quality and the effect of the bird nest when consumed is slightly better, but there's not much difference in terms of those two quality. So what happens is if you can get the cave bird nest just slightly more expensive than the one from the warehouse, then I recommend you maybe just give it a try to buy that, try to consume that, and maybe will increase your experience, will increase your knowledge for the bird nest. But if the person try to rip you off by selling you twice the price or about 50% more expensive, then I think it's just waste of your time because the effect of the bird nest itself is pretty much the same. People was asking where can we buy bird nest. Well, basically everywhere else. If you go to Asian market, or the herbal medicine market, there's more chance that they sell the bird nest itself. The distribution point, however, you can find in Vietnam, Malaysia, Singapore, Philippines, and even Australia nowadays. They're starting to consume a lot of the edible bird nests. However, the origin of the bird nest itself only comes from Indonesia, and surprisingly, that the bird doesn't really live outside Indonesia. Despite that, there's a lot of island out there which is quite tropical, but the bird only prefer the Kalimantan, Sumatra, and the Java Island. The Kalimantan Island produce a better quality than the Sumatra Island because once you go to Kalimantan, there's a lot of forests and there's a lot of caves, which is pretty much explained by itself why the quality is slightly better than Sumatra. But you don't have to worry about that because the quality is just a little bit different. Most people will just consume the one from Sumatra or from Kalimantan. It's pretty much the same. It depends on the supplier. If sometimes the supplier they run out the supply from Kalimantan, then you will get some from Sumatra Island. However, for the Java Island, there's a lot of construction, there's a lot of factory, industrial projects, and it actually affects the quality of the bird nest. It actually hampers the habitat of the swallow bird. So I would suggest you just maybe stay away from it, because the quality is not that good, and unless you can get a much cheaper price, unless a good offer from the Java merchant, and I say give it a go. Basically, people are asking, so how can I differentiate the quality of the Birdnest, whether it's from the cave or whether it's from the warehouse? And the short answer is you can't do that. It's pretty impossible to differentiate between two of them because they look exactly the same, they taste the same, they smell the same, everything else is the same. A few years ago, I went to the Kalimantan island. I tried to order a few kilos from Kalimantan, and the farmers showed me around the caves, and I can see people hanging on top of the ceiling trying to collect the Birdnest. It's actually a pretty risky job. I feel sorry for them. But the thing is, like, once I come back to Jakarta and I have a think about it, and will decide that my company will not try to distribute as much as another company for the cave Birdnest. And the problem is because you can't differentiate the Birdnest itself. So if I order 200 kilo from Kalimantan and I get this kind of boxes, and once I open it and I have to look at it, I can't differentiate how many percentage of this Birdnest is the one from the cave, because they could have run out the stock from the cave and they start to put in something in from the warehouse, try to mix together, and I can't tell the differentiate about it. So which is not good for my business and it's not good for my client. That's why I try to recommend not to get to the cave Birdnest. Unless someone really like to order, then I will have to fly by myself to Kalimantan and just grab that on my hand and bring it back to Jakarta and start to distribute it. Well, basically that's everything about Birdnest. And if you have more questions or you're interested about Birdnest, you can just visit our website, which is NIIndonesia.com, or you can email me personally at jasper@NIIndonesia.com. We'll see you around. Cheers.